My name is Chuck West. I'm professor of music at Virginia Commonwealth University and an artist clinician for the Buffet Group. And I'm pleased to present this brief tour of Woodwind Methods, an essential resource for educators, conductors, and students. It's a book that is drawn from about 40 years of teaching woodwind methods and techniques classes. Woodwind Methods has two purposes. It is a text for a heterogeneous college woodwind methods course, and it is a resource manual for professional music educators and conductors. The textbook part is organized by individual instrument with a Before You Begin section, followed by step-by-step instructions for teaching assembly, holding position, embouchure formation, and articulation. The Producing the First Sounds section is supported by many diagrams and photographs illustrating the concepts described. For each instrument, there is a detailed list of common problems and solutions. Over many years, I've found these common problems lists to have been the most helpful to young teachers as they complete their formal training and begin to teach in a school or studio. And finally, before the fingering charts, user-friendly discussions of tuning, basic reed information, and other instrument-specific topics are included with each instrument in subheadings. The fingering and trill charts for each instrument are carefully detailed, guiding students or teachers to the correct fingering for the context. Anyone who has taught woodwinds class knows that students often randomly pick a fingering from a chart and try to make it work in all situations. Avoiding this situation by providing very clear information to be retained as one proceeds to a teaching career was a major inspiration for this woodwind book. In the second section are sequential exercises, songs, and pieces with examples that use harmony from the very beginning. As you well know, a unison tune or exercise that is easy for some instruments, for example clarinets and saxophones, can be daunting for oboists. Since all college music majors are well accustomed to playing or singing in harmony, instrument-appropriate beginning notes produce a chorale on the very first exercise. Students are given credit for musical maturity by studying exercises that sound more like an ensemble than a methods class right from the start. This unique approach levels the playing field so that no one is suddenly overwhelmed by complicated range or fingering patterns. This way, everyone progresses at roughly the same pace. Here you see a very early unison melody from Dvorak, and later you will see a childhood song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, with harmony, syncopation, and some very simple counterpoint. My students have used the word fun to describe these little harmonized tunes. Another example of adaptation to the methods class is the clarinet's first foray into the clarion register. It makes little sense to have four other instruments playing fifths or twelfths while the clarinets struggle with the second register. So here the clarinet part plays simple leaps of a twelfth, while the harmonizing parts are dealing with challenges unique to each of the four other woodwinds. Notice here the oboes and clarinets' upper register challenges, while the other instruments are solidifying their skills with an F major scale. My goal has been to meet the students where they are in the sophomore or junior year of college and make it possible for them to feel accomplished and rewarded. The third section is the director's guide, beginning with a grasp of the similarities and differences between the woodwinds. We explain transposition, breath support, tuning in depth, articulation in depth, selection of equipment including safe recommendations for instruments, reeds, ligatures, mouthpieces, and so forth. There are details about reeds, common equipment problems with solutions, common repair problems with solutions, maintenance, recommended methods and studies, and advanced subjects such as vibrato and the principle of alternate fingerings. Once again, the various common problems sections of both the student and director parts of the text have been extraordinarily valuable as this text has evolved over the decades. Pragmatism, practicality, and fun are the guiding principles of this affordably priced book, beginning with a cost-effective and realistic heterogeneous class approach that mirrors the school band class, logical progression of exercises, and carefully selected director's information. This is a book whose focus is on training, and career-long support of teachers and directors whose interest is in building generations of students whose enjoyment of their woodwind performance is based on correct and efficient teaching.